Hey, brothers and sisters. Beautiful day here in Flagstaff. Headed out on the scooter. Uh, little place I want to go to. It's kind of private. It's at the trailhead of a certain trail, and just want to go there and sit and think about some things. Well, here we are. There's this little trail I like to follow. Takes me back to this place I like to sit, meditate, contemplate, think about things, mull things over. You know how it goes. So, we'll go back here and just do that. It's very, very peaceful here. Well, everybody, I like this little place. It's overlooking this canyon here. It's beautiful. And I might add, I don't apologize for this. My videos not being a Hollywood production. I like them to be raw, real. Maybe sometimes I'll throw some music in, some background music or whatever. But when you're out here like this, when you're out here in the wilderness and in the mountains, there's no band here. There's no orchestra. It's just nature. So I like to keep it. Real. If you want to watch a more professional Hollywood production, then I think you're at the wrong place. But nevertheless, I'm looking for the wild, the raw, the real, the genuine. Something that's authentic. So I'm sitting here eating some jerky. And I don't like to drink a lot of these, but every once in a while I kind of get a little thirst for one. I don't know why. These, well, you can get Red Bull, Monster. This is a Monster drink. It's called Ultra Watermelon. They're certainly not the best for you nutritionally, but like I said, every once in a while, I just get a thirst for them, especially for some reason when I'm eating jerky. Oh, wow. So, this is to the wildlife, the wild and wilderness, to be free in freedom. So I like to come here and, as I said earlier, just contemplate, meditate, mull things over, enjoy the peace, the silence. Cheers. Here's what I've been thinking about, among many things lately. I'm not a member of anything. Not a member of any motorcycle club, any riding group. Certainly not a member of any political party. You won't find my name in my tithing record in a church membership log. No, it's not there. I'm not a member of any kind of social event, club, blah, 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 whatever. Now, if anybody's watching that you are a member of something, I don't condemn you for that. I'm not saying there's not some emotional, social benefit to that. But, and I certainly wouldn't unfriend you or condemn you or make fun of you. I wouldn't ridicule you. But for myself, I'm not a member of anything. And that doesn't mean that I could consider myself an island to myself. What's the old saying, the old adage, no man is an island? True. I have some friends. I have many acquaintances. Friends are few, acquaintances are many. And that's usually the way it is. You know, I think it's been said before, if you can find 1, 2, maybe 3 genuine friends in your life, You're doing good. So I have some friends. And when I call somebody a friend, I mean that. I genuinely mean that. Because in my lifetime, I've come to understand what a real friend is. And I've been more of a friend to many people than they have been to me. There's not much reciprocation out there. And I'm not trying to put a feather in my cap and pat myself on the back. It's just my definition and my view and my perception of friendship goes really deep. It's just not a word that floats on the surface of some emotional content. It goes very, very deep. But back to the main point, I'm not a member of anything. Well, okay, I'll concede with this. I guess member would be okay, but I am part of the human race. Because I believe there's only one race, and that's the human race. And there are many, many paths that lead out of that human race, and it takes us into our ancestral roots, our ancestral lineage. And I realize there's tribes, there's clans, but there's only one race in my perception, in my understanding, what I believe, and that's the human race. It's just like people have referred me to a race called the white race. Well, I hope I disappoint anyone that classifies me as a part of the white race, as a white man. I really want to disappoint you because let's get it clear now. Let's make it very, very clear. I'm not your white man. Nope. Nope, I'm not your white man. Anybody that's heard me express this before knows my perception and philosophy of classifying human beings as red, white, brown, black, yellow. That's the most absurd, insulting, dehumanizing classifications that could be invented. And it is an invention. It's a governmental, political invention. I don't know who came up with that. Probably some demented politician. I don't know. I've never really looked into the history of where those classifications come from. But I do know this. When I was in school, I had this box. And in this little box were crayons. And then this box was called Crayola crayons. And in that box, you will find a white crayon, a black crayon, a red crayon, a yellow crayon, a brown crayon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you'll find them in there. But here's the magic of it all. I wasn't born in a Crayola crayon box. Two white crayons didn't get together and breed, and out came another white crayon. No, didn't happen. Two black crayons didn't snuggle up to each other, have a little bump and grind, and voila, there's another black crayon. Oh my gosh. Nope, not the way it works. Just not the way it works, folks. I came from my father's seed and my mother's egg. It was a union that took place between the sperm and the egg. Conception occurred. Designed ingeniously, engineered and designed by the Creator. And that's the only thing I could say that I'm part of or a member of, is that unparalleled human race. It's fascinating. I can't, I know it, I believe it, but I can't wrap my head around it. Even our founding fathers knew that there was a creator. All men, the preamble to the Declaration of Independence, we know this, that all men are created equal. Created equal. Not just made equal, they were created equal. They knew there was a higher power. I think they were, what do they call it, monotheistic. They knew that there was a creator out there. Created. So I am part of that fascinating race called the human race. But I'm not your white man. I have an uncle, one of my dad's brothers, that started tracing our ancestry back. I think he went back to, 16th, 17th century, somewhere in there. He might have went back further than that now, but because I haven't had any contact with him for quite a while. But it definitely traced to Scotland, of Scottish descent. Now, I know there's another word they like to use, Caucasian, which is you're part of the European, some European nation. Okay, whatever. It's still generic, and I'm not a generic human being. I have an ancestral lineage. I came from somewhere. So it was traced back to Scotland, and then our ancestors came over to America in the mid to late 1800s and married into the Cherokee Nation. So that's where the Cherokee connection took place. And they ended up settling in Tennessee, and some of the other southern states. They were also, from what I understand, they were also part of helping during when the Cherokee Nation was driven out of the southern states, what we know as a Trail of Tears. They ended up in primarily, I think, Oklahoma. So, in no place of the history of my family have I discovered where it says, and a group of white people came to America and they married into a brown nation. No, my uncle didn't find it written like that. It talked about actuality, reality, not government propaganda and generic classifications. And, people say, well, the government can't keep track of all of that, so they simplify it. Yeah, well, I don't think the government keeps track of hardly anything. I don't think they care, other than what they can keep track of to control us. I think that's their main focus, their main concern. What can we implement that we can manipulate and control the masses? Other than that, I don't care who you are, where you're from. They could care less. So, that's why I stay disconnected from that. I don't put on applications, white, Caucasian. No, I write in who I am. Scottish, Cherokee. Of course, visually, I take more after the Scottish genetics. But if you saw my father, you'd see the difference. So, as I said, I'm not a member of anything except the human race. But I respect anyone that feels the need to be a member of something. It's okay. The only disrespect you get if you try to impose upon me or force upon me that I have to sanction or become subject to whatever you're a member of. No, not going to happen. Because if that is imposed upon an individual, you have to accept me of whatever I'm a member of. No, I don't. I can treat you like a human. I can give you a level of respect. But if you think I'm going to bow to whatever you're a member of, then you're trying to make me a member. And it's not going to happen. That's the beautiful thing about freedom. I don't care if a man thinks he's a woman, or a woman thinks he's a man, or a woman thinks she's a cat, or a frog, or a dog, or a fly, or a mosquito. I don't care. But, you can be free to do that in your own little clan, in your own little world, in your own little fantasy. But don't try to make me buy into it. It's not my fantasy. I'll greatly disappoint you. But see, in the twisted minds of people who live a fictitious life of delusions and fantasies and myths and fables, they want to have the free speech to express what they believe and what they feel and who they think they are, and defend their little tribe and clan. But if I say I don't accept that, I'm not buying into it, well then I'm racist, or it's hate speech. No, it's called freedom. You want to be free to express yourself? Then I'm going to be free to express myself. Just like the Second Amendment. You don't want to own a gun? You're free not to. Nobody forces you to own a gun. The only time you're forced, and in one sense of the word, the only time you're forced to carry a gun, if you're in the military and you're in the heat of battle, you better have one. Somebody better have one. But in society, nobody forces you to own a gun, even though it's your God-given right. But if you don't want to, don't. But don't think I'm going to come under subjection to what you don't like and what you don't believe in. Not going to happen. See, those rights were not given by a political party. Those rights were not given by some governmental entity. They come from our Creator.
It's like on Three Amigos. Like,
I see there's some people up there looking down at me. It's a nice little private place, but if you get right up to the edge up there, you can look down and see me. I think they took off. So anyway, that's some thoughts I've just been mulling over. So I thought I'd share it with you. If you happen to stumble upon these videos, if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. Leave me comments. Thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever. If you find interest, tell your friends, your relatives, your enemies. And until next time, live free, stay free, protect your freedom, protect your life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. God bless.